Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to a new video. I make content about holistic self-love, and today is International Women's Day, so I thought I would speak about International Women's Day, feminism, and the divine feminine. Yeah, so is it really necessary to celebrate International Women's Day? Well, I think these days, these international days of whatever, they exist to try and raise awareness about certain topics and causes, and that's got to be a good thing, I think. But I don't feel the need personally to, let's say, go on the feminist demonstration that's happening today in Barcelona or wherever in the world, because for me, Women's Day is every day. I have chosen a life, a mission, a job that is all about female empowerment. So I don't feel that today is any different from any other day. The only thing that's different is I'm making a video about this today, and it'll probably be good for SEO, you know. But I wanted to talk about my experience with feminism, femininity, and the divine feminine, because gender is something that's always interested me. And when I was a child, I was very much a normal, how would you say, conventional little girl. I loved dolls, I loved dressing in pink, but I never felt that I was less than or less capable, because I was always very bright academically. So I was always thinking that, I'm going to grow up and get a job and be successful, hopefully. But I was very much into art, and I had spent a lot of time alone reading, and a lot of alone time as a child, and that allowed me to really develop my inner world. And I remember when I was around 10 or 11, I was obsessed with female saints. I used to read biographies of female saints because I was brought up Catholic, and a lot of the biographies that I read really inspired me, because I was reading about women who had a lot of conviction, a lot of integrity and perseverance, and who had real conviction in their beliefs, and they were living difficult situations just because they wanted to be true to themselves. And I really admired that. And for me, integrity became my number one value at that time, even though I didn't even know the word integrity. But it has since become my number one value. I really admire people who walk the walk and live a life based on beliefs. I think that's just really interesting. But then I actually discovered the Bible, and I started reading the Bible. I think it was the Gideon's Bible, and there was something like suggested readings, that if you read these suggested readings, you would read the whole Bible in a time of 2 years. And I came across something in Corinthians about whether saying that women should cover their heads in church, because man doesn't need to, because he's the glory of God, but woman is the glory of man. And I was like, what? I had a very profound reaction to this. I was only around 11. I didn't know anything about intuition or gut feelings at the time, but I felt that was the time to close the Bible forever. And I do love, when I was later in life, around 16, 17, 18, I used to really love Tori Amos. And she has a song where she sings the lyrics, I think the good book is missing some pages. And it just did feel that kind of resonated with me. So the Bible was closed forever. And then when I was in high school, I probably didn't see or much of a future for myself. I don't think I think everyone suffers from limiting beliefs. Even today, I'm suffering from limiting beliefs. But when I was a teenager choosing which topics to study for GCSE level, that's when you leave school around 16, there was this new exam thing called City and Guilds, and that was going to replace 2 GCSE subjects. And I remember I chose this option instead of doing 10 GCSEs. And my chemistry teacher, she got a group of the girls who she considered to be intelligent, and she got us all together, and the girls who had chosen this City and Guilds option, and she said, why have you chosen this option? This is not for people who are, high achievers in school. This is for people who are struggling with academia. And she got one of the girls and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the girl says, air hostess. And then she said, air hostess? Get in the cockpit, be a pilot. And I think for girls, I didn't really see beyond maybe more traditional roles, even in work, things that were maybe more reserved for women, like maybe teaching or becoming a nurse or a hairdresser, something like that. So I didn't really think of myself as being any better than I didn't think of myself that I could even go to university. I didn't even think that would be an option for me. So this experience is something that I am very grateful to that teacher for, because it made me think bigger and see bigger, which is so important in life. Then when I went to university, I wanted to study women's studies, but I found that the university is offering that with French. They weren't really that good. So I decided to do European studies instead, and I focused on feminism, and in French I focused on the feminism in the French language, and then I did another thesis for European studies. So a lot of my degree, about 60% of it, was based on feminism. And at the time when I was very interested in equality, but I was looking at it maybe from an academic perspective, social perspective. So that was it. Voting rights, things like that, work rights, and I do feel strongly about gender equality, more about having the same opportunities, not necessarily the same conditions, because I do acknowledge that women might make different decisions. Sometimes that can be because of limiting beliefs, but sometimes it's just a preference. I mean, I would much rather study something like women's studies than do an engineering degree. That's just a question of personal taste, and I'm not alone in that. So I'm not really someone who supports things like quotas. If I got some incredible position or privilege, I would want it to be because of my merit and deserve it, not because I'm trying to fill some diversity quota. That's not something I personally believe in. But I do think it's good to have representation of different people achieving different things and everyone having the same opportunity to succeed. I think that's so important. Anyway, so then, after that, I was thinking, I think when I was at university and thinking about getting a job, I am in my mind, if I go back to my younger self, I did want to help people, but I didn't really know how, because I also didn't want to sacrifice my own happiness in order to help people for some cause. And I was thinking, do I go and work for some kind of organization? But then I'm going to be in a location maybe that I don't want to be in. I want to live in Spain, so what am I going to do? So I abandoned the idea of helping people as a goal, as a professional goal, because I wanted to come and live in Spain. And I was helping people in a different way. I was an English teacher, but I wasn't really, it wasn't a massive cause that I believe in, like helping people to speak English. That wasn't like something that was, getting me going in the morning. I was just doing it to pay the bills, and it was easy when I came. That was the only job I could do, really, as a native English speaker who didn't speak Spanish when I came. So the years went by, and I was thinking of, going back to the UK and getting a proper job. And I abandoned the idea of helping people. I just thought, I've got these languages, I just want to make some money, want to live comfortably. But then in 2009, I hit rock bottom, basically, and I just wanted to be a well cared for employee and live comfortably in Barcelona, which is the city I live in. I wanted to live here comfortably, and that's a huge achievement in itself, because so many people I know over the years have gone back to the UK in search of a more stable lifestyle with, semi-detached house, 9-to-5 job and a mortgage and all of that. And I think I was taught, I thought I should want that, but I didn't really want it in my heart, so I wasn't really sure. But then I really hit rock bottom in 2009, because I was working in luxury real estate at the worst time. I had no salary, no food. And imagine I was in the day like in these incredibly luxurious apartments. Then at night I would go home and just open my empty fridge, and there was just nothing. I was starving, doing viewings from Monday to Friday non-stop and not making a single euro, because I wasn't even I was on a commission basis only. So I struggled at this for a while, but then I didn't leave it because there were a few negotiations that I was working on. Then I sold 2 apartments and I left my job and I started a sex blog. And this was the time that I was able to come into alignment and really tap into all of the things that I've always loved. I love reading, I love writing, I was very artistic, so I was also doing my own pictures, and I was very focused on the, body positivity, body image. All of my photos that I did are no edit, no filter. So, and I was becoming my own art object, but not just with the idea of objectification. It was about an expression of female beauty, but without any filters or anything like that, because that's something I really appreciate as well, because I used to also study history of art, so I was going back to my roots of where I've always been, an expression of art. And also the cause I chose was female pleasure, which is something that ticks so many boxes for me. I get the box of activism because it's an important topic, and also it's fun and it pays the bills, and it's an artistic expression. It's something I used to do, for 7 days a week at the beginning. Now I try and make sure I have time for weekends, and because I did get burnt out as well. That's another story. But yeah, so I've really gone back to my roots in terms of feminism and what I believe in female empowerment. Just I think female pleasure is so important for, it can really influence how you feel in your body, your own body image, and it can also positively influence your relationships. Once you are connected with your body, that's going to bring something very positive to the table in your personal relationship. So it's win-win-win for everyone. I do believe the world is a better place if we are more connected with our sexuality and we know how to channel this powerful energy. So I can say I've been really playing the female card in my chosen profession, because it's not so easy for a man who wants to speak about male pleasure. That's kind of something that's kind of looked down upon as being a bit pervy almost. It's not as empowering as a woman doing it. So that's something that has worked in my favor big time. So I don't feel repressed at all. I'm actually being a woman in what I do is a huge advantage, to be honest. But also there are things, being a freelancer, that's a hard life. It's a hard life to choose. I wouldn't change anything. But then in the last kind of 5 or 7 years, I've become a bit more spiritual. So then I've started to embrace the concept of the divine feminine energy. And because I think as a freelancer, even though I was, discussing a topic that's very feminine, I think there's a lot of action and goals that needs to, these things that are associated with masculine energy, that you need to have those things in order to succeed and make progress. But now lately I've been kind of more tapping into the divine feminine, which is all about surrender, allowing, receptivity, the heart space. And it's something I really connect with so well. I really do think it's possible to embrace feminine energy and be powerful. It's not just all about being passive and protected, even though that is nice. I think it's nice to want to enjoy the masculine energy and be receptive to it. It's something I absolutely adore. I don't think it compromises my feminism at all. I think that's a bit of a complicated area that we are in at the moment, because when you look at things like dating and who pays the bills, or who pays the bills in a relationship, there is still this income gap, and men are earning more, so they kind of pay more things, and then women want equality, but then they kind of expect the man to pay. This is a bit of a fuzzy area. I think people are a little bit confused about that. And even women who want equality don't want equality when the bill comes, So I think it's interesting times for gender, and that's just one aspect of how gender is interesting at the moment. So International Women's Day, I wanted to speak about my journey and of femininity. And also right now I'm reading the book Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is so interesting, about the wild woman and how to reconnect with that wild woman essence. And also lately I created a sorcery group of sorceresses, of kind of witchcraft, if you will. The word witchcraft has so many negative connotations, but I basically have a group of female friends that we meet for the full moon. we do cacao ceremonies, and we do these things called letting go lists, and we share a lot of what we are going through and what the problems that we would like to let go of for the next cycle. So it's a really nice way to embrace that feminine energy and share and just enjoy feminine energy. And I absolutely love being a woman, and I think I am celebrating Women's Day every single day. So what about you? What do you think about International Women's Day? Do you celebrate it? And do you consider yourself to be a feminist, or do you believe in quotas? What's your type of feminism? What about the divine feminine? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And also I wanted to share with you that I'm giving away a free life upgrade meditation. It is 100 powerful meditation affirmations that represent 12 areas of the life wheel. And those areas include love, family, relationships, money, work, spiritual life, personal development, learning, fitness, health, and contribution to society. It's a very powerful meditation, and if you would like to receive it, then check out this link or check out the link in the description below. And if you have any topics that you would like me to cover in the topics of holistic self-love, then don't hesitate to leave a comment below or write to me at venus@venussahara.org. I read and reply to all of the comments. Thanks for watching, and happy International Women's Day. Mwah.